Greetings, Spooky fans! Michael here, and Pokemon Sword and Shield were just announced to be coming to the Nintendo Switch later this year. It's Generation 8 of Pokemon, brand new region, brand new Pokemon. It's gonna be a great time. And they were announced a couple days ago, and the reason I'm just now talking about it is because I wanted to take my time, make sure this was a very well thought out, very professional video, so that's why it's here now. Also, because I was in Disneyland, it was very fun. Thank you for asking. That is also the reason why there's no Pokemon Talk this month. Bulbasaur and Squirtle needed a vacation too. They'll be back in April. Please don't be mad at me. In this video, I will be going over all of the Pokemon Sword and Shield information that you need to know, including some information tidbits that you might have missed, and some fan theories about some of the Pokemon that I think have some pretty serious merit to them. Let's start things off first with the new region, the Galar region, which, fun fact, is the first region whose English name does not contain the letter O. Galar is clearly based off of Great Britain, which for those of you uncultured Americans like me, is the big island that includes England, Scotland, and Wales. Those three plus Northern Ireland make up the UK. But as you can tell, there isn't a Northern Ireland equivalent off the coast of Galar. Galar seems to be Great Britain, but turned upside down and then stretched a little bit. This city is the equivalent of London, and this city is the equivalent of Edinburgh. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how to pronounce that. I called it Edinburgh in front of Patters and Game Boy Luke, and they made fun of me. But what they were saying just sounded like Edinburgh. So that's really the best I can do is Edinburgh. This river and lake seems like it could be the equivalent of Loch Ness. So maybe we'll get a Loch Ness monster Pokemon that shows up in that lake. Either early on and it's just like a random water spawn like Tentacool, or it could be a legendary that we go back to later, because we seem to start our journey at the southern end of the region. I say that since this house looks just like this house that was shown in the trailer, which is clearly implied to be the player's house. Additionally, this town slightly to the north is shown with a Route 1 sign in front of it, meaning this area here is Route 1. Additionally, I believe this purple house to be the professor's lab. This shot here is clearly the inside of the lab, what with all the equipment and books, and is immediately followed by the girl standing just outside of that purple building. Plus, this glass chamber on the left seems to continue to the outside of the house like some sort of greenhouse. If this is the lab, the professor clearly has a thing for plants. Maybe the professor specializes in how plants and Pokemon interact with each other. Or they might also have some kind of relation to the grass-type gym leader, because there is very clearly a grass-type gym shown later in the game. The name Galar seems to be taken from the word gallant, like what the knights of ye olde England were, and it is pronounced Galar, not Galar, as I accidentally pronounced it. Galar could also be a rearrangement of the word regal, like the kings and queens of England. A prominent part of the trailer is this screenshot here, which seems to be a Galar equivalent of a hill figure. It seems to depict some giant Pokemon raining storm destruction down on the people below. So I feel that whatever this Pokemon is, it will be a prominent legendary that probably has either the electric or flying type, since it seems to have storm powers. The trailer made it clear that there will be older Pokemon available, so we're not getting another black and white situation. And honestly, this pleases me, because it opens up the possibilities for older Pokemon getting new evolutions or new regional variants, the two things that I would most like to see older Pokemon get. The older Pokemon that we know will be obtainable are the Pikachu line, the Cinccino line, the Noctowl line, the Vikavolt line, Wishiwashi, the Hydreigon line, the Flygon line, the Braviary line, the Wailord line, the Meowstic line, the Lucario line, the Tyranitar line, and the Snorlax line. So if you're itching to use any of these Pokemon on your playthrough team, you probably can. Now let's discuss the most exciting part of the reveal, the new starter Pokemon. I'll go over the stuff that's 100% confirmed first before I go over some credible theories. The grass starter is Grookey, a mischievous chimp Pokemon that is full of boundless curiosity. In the trailer, we see it banging on a rock using the stick in its hair, and as it jumps away, dust that falls off of it causes the grass to grow taller. The fire starter is Scorbunny, a rabbit Pokemon that is always running about, bursting with energy. In the trailer, we see it using its fiery feet to run along the metal wheel before leaping up and singeing the ground upon landing. And the water starter, my personal favorite of the three, although I'm not making my final decision until we see the fully evolved forms, is Sobble, a somewhat timid water Pokemon that shoots out attacks as it hides itself in the water. In the trailer, we first see it invisible. Okay, you can't really see something that's invisible, but it's very much implied that it's invisible, before it climbs out of the fountain and makes itself visible again before getting startled by Grookey and then running off. So that's the 100% confirmed information that we know since it was in the trailer. But now I want to go over some potential theories for what their origins could be that I think are pretty legitimate. First, let's talk about Scorbunny. Its name includes the word bunny, which is obvious, but the score part is less obvious. You might think that it could be short for Scorch, which would make perfect sense because it's a fire type, but a lot of people think that the score part could also come from the word score, as in to gain points in some kind of game. Specifically, in this case, a soccer game. And yes, I say soccer, I'm an American, deal with it. Many people believe that Scorbunny could be inspired by soccer players, since it runs around really fast and has big feet to kick things with. Plus, soccer is a major sport in England and was sort of invented there since the modern day official rules for soccer were created in England. But what about the other two starters? Well, their potential origins depend on which starter trio theme you guys prefer. What I mean by that is that the last two generations of Pokemon, Gen 6 and 7, have had a theme for their starters. Gen 6 was basically the D&D starters with 3 different classes, the Paladin, the Mage, and the Rogue, and then Gen 7 was a circus troupe with the ringleader, the tiger jumping through a ring of fire, and the sea lions bouncing balls. And the first theory for the Generation 8 starter theme is sports, or athletics. Sports are featured prominently throughout the trailer, including the gyms looking like big sports stadiums and the male character seen wearing a soccer outfit walking out onto the battlefield. Scorbunny would be soccer, as we already discussed, but it works for the other starters as well. Grookey, for example, would be cricket, another sport that was invented in England. Its wooden stick would function as the cricket bat, and it seems to be wearing gloves like cricket players do. But its name doesn't seem to have as much to do with cricket. Key is from monkey, obviously, and Gru, maybe it's from grow? But it's weird that it's Gru and not grow. Well, Grokey would be way too close to Froakie, but maybe it's Groot. In all seriousness, I think it might maybe have something to do with kooky, like because it's mischievous and acts a little kooky sometimes. And Sobble would represent water polo, another sport invented in England. I must admit though, I think Sobble's connection to water polo is pretty weak. I mean, it hides in the water, and that's about all it's got going for it. Maybe the link will get stronger as it evolves. Its name appears to be from Sob, since it's a very timid Pokemon and even has dots under its eyes that are supposed to look like tears, and from the word bubble. But the other starter theme theory that I personally think has a lot more merit to it is entertainment. Scorbunny still represents soccer, but it's not just soccer, it's athletics as a whole, since going to sporting events and watching sports on TV is a pretty big deal in England and around the world. Meanwhile, Grookey could represent music. In the trailer, we see it banging on a rock with its stick like a drum. And the most famous drummer of all time is Ringo Starr, a British man who gained international fame as the drummer for the British band The Beatles. The British invasion was a really big deal in the world of music, so Grookey could be an homage to that. Additionally, it helps make Grookey's name make more sense, since instead of grow and monkey, it's groove and monkey. And Sobble would represent the theatre. Britain's got a pretty substantial history with the theater. Ever heard of a guy named Shakespeare? So having a Pokemon represent that would make perfect sense. It works with Sobble's appearance, since the curved pattern on its face kind of looks like curtains being pulled away, and the fin on top of its head looks kind of like a feathered quill that playwrights of old would use. Also, its timid, sad nature could represent the theater as well, being a reference to the emotional tragedy plays, or the fact that it could have stage fright. Maybe it gains more confidence as an actor the more it evolves. So that about wraps it up for my overview of the stuff that you need to know about Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. Let me know down in the comments below what starter you're picking. As I said, as of now, I'm picking Sobble. And if you're new here and haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for more fun Pokemon videos. Alright, that's all I have for now. So till next time, Pokefans, gotta catch them all!